Hello everyone and welcome to my first video on the series on how to create a quick network game in Unity 3D. This game will be basically about FPS game multiplayer, and it's going to be very fast and very simple, and you will kill other players in multiplayer. So today we're going to create our network system that allows the player to connect and create a server, so can others play to his server or whatever. So it's going to be really simple, no UIs and textures and stuff like that. We will use Unity's basic texture, GUI, sorry, and there will be absolutely no models in the game, just a gun. So the customization you can edit on your own. You can make your own map. But generally in this series you will get the idea on how to create an FPS multiplayer game on how to create the FPS multiplayer game, and if you want to create the scene, you can create it however you want to. So let's get started by creating a new folder, call it scripts, and here we'll create another folder, name it server, and create another one and name it player or client, and let's create another one and name it scenes, and let's save our scene first. Okay, so we have our server and our player folder. We're gonna start with the server script, so go create JavaScript and let's name it multiplayer manager and attach it to your main camera component or game object, sorry, and let's add a network view. Network view is made by Unity, and it's something like it's basically the whole network of the game. It helps to communicate through objects and clients and server and stuff like that, and yeah, you don't need to mess with that. You just add it and go to your script. Okay, so let's open up our multiplayer manager script. Wait for it. Okay, so the first thing we need is to give the user a layout that allows him to connect and create a server. So we're gonna start with a function on GUI which renders on the screen the buttons, the boxes and stuff like that, and we're going to create two buttons, one for the server and one for the client. And let's create a server and connect to the server. Sorry about that. So GUI layout dot button creates our button without a rectangle. That means that it automatically positions the button on the screen. Let me show you what I mean. So with rectangle we will say something like rect position here, position Y, the width and the height. and then it goes and creates the button based on these values. With a GUI layout button, it automatically creates the button on the 0 point or at the end of the previous component, and if you create another one button, it automatically creates under it without you have to position it. And in this situation here with the rect, you will have to say for the button that is above our button, here the Y plus 35, for example, and the width and the height. So that is a little bit generally GUI layouts are more easy to create GUIs, so that is about, and I will show you right now what I mean. Run your game and you will see that it automatically creates under the first button the second one. So we're gonna start with the creating server, and add if statement. So if the user presses the create a server button, then it's going to create a server network.create initialize server, and it needs 3 parameters. First, the max connections. I usually set it up to 32. Then the port of your router 25001, and then the network that have public IP address, which I don't really know what this thing does. And yeah, so you just put that here. I don't remember what that thing does. Okay, so by the way, you have to open a port on your router with the given port that you set. For example, if you set the port to 25001, you will have to go to your router and open this port, so players from other computers, not from your local network but from the other computers, can be able to connect to your server through the external IP. So that is for the create server. It's really simple. And oh, by the way, create a if statement at the top. If not network that is server and not network that is client, then we're going to show these things. So after you create the server, all these things inside this condition will disappear just because this is true. That means that network that is server is true when you create the server. And put then else here. Else, basically just type if network type that is server. That means that the user has started the server. Type in GUI layout dot label server started, and create another button to stop the server in case stop server. So GUI layout dot label works the same as the button. Okay, so let's test it out. I'll basically put an if statement on the stop server so we can stop our server. And really simple network.disconnect. And you just create the system to create the server. very simple. So if you press create server, you will see server started, and stop the server. It shows us again the previous layout. So that is for the server, and let's go to our client and type in if, and here is a little bit tricky. You have to allow the user to insert us the IP and the port that he wants to connect, because the command is network.connect the IP and the port. So in our case we will enter localhost and our port, which is 250.250.1. But if your friends want to connect to you, he won't be able to connect to localhost. He wants your external IP address. So we need him to type in your external IP. So create a variable var. Let's name it IP and type in a string. And let's set it by default on localhost, so we don't have to type in all the time localhost. And then var port string is equal to 250.250.1, and here let's create a begin horizontal view, and let's set the skin to box so we can see our group, and let's send it here. So let me explain what this does. So the begin horizontal means that Unity will create a box and put inside our elements. So in our case we will put the IP address and the port. Okay, and we will put also our text box here and text box here and our button right here, let's say, which will be connect. So the box automatically resize to our length of our elements. If you have, for example, just the IP, the box will be something like that. See? So yeah, that's it for the begin horizontal, and the vertical is the same but from the right. That means that if you put the port, it will go something like that. Basically, if you put the port inside the vertical group, it will go something like that. Okay, you will see what I mean later. And the GUI that's in the box, you can disable if you want, but this shows you where how big is your box, and that's better in the appearance. So here we need our IP address, so let's create the label IP, and our text box IP is equal to GUI layout that text field, and put inside our IP variable, and copy and paste these two lines for the port. Let's create a button that allows the user to connect. Oh, okay, so let me think about it. This GUI layout button has to be in here.